Good morning to everyone. Today is an auspicious day, being the birthday, according to a Hindu calendar, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gauranga Mahaprabhu is not an unknown name. Sri Ramakrishna used to have vision of Sri Chaitanya, in which he saw the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Nityananda singing the names of God in the streets of Navadvip, followed by a big crowd. And among the crowd were some of the people he could recognize as the persons coming to him, like Yam, Balaram. He said, I saw Balaram there, and I saw you also there. To Yam he says. So it shows the link that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has with Sri Ramakrishna. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born as Vishwambhar, a 10th child of Brahmin Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi in Navadvip, West Bengal. Jagannath Mishra migrated from Sylhet in East Bengal. Sylhet is now in Bangladesh. So the day he was born was 4th of February 1486. It was a full moon day, and the day had solar eclipse too. Jagannath's among the 10 offsprings, first 8 were daughters. And as the child mortality rate was there at that time, all 8 daughters died in very young age. The 9th one was a boy. He grew up into a very intelligent boy. But at the age of 16, he was caught up with the fire of renunciation and left the home and heart and took the life of a mendicant, Vishwarup. That was followed by this Gauranga. Now his name they kept Vishwambhar. He was very fair complexioned. Gaura means fair, Anga means body. So people call him Gauranga. But women were afraid that children were dying or leaving the home. So to save from evil eyes, they sometimes give such names that even God will not like, people will not like, but they won't take away. So they tried to give him some bitter name and gave the name Nimai, from Neem, Margosa. It is bitter. Please don't take away God, this child of mine, like that. So he was called also Nimai. Nimai, Gauranga are the same name of the same person. Chaitanya came later on. Let us say his life. He was a very intelligent boy. But from his boyhood, he used to love the name of Hari. So people also call him Gaur Hari. Whenever he was angry or something happened, people chanted the name of Hari, they used to keep quiet. So this strange phenomenon with the name of God from this childhood, we see in the life of Swami Vivekananda. When he used to be very naughty and uncontrollable, Mother used to say, I prayed for Shiva, and Shiva sent his demon, all this bhutas to me, hobgoblins to me, instead of himself coming. And he was very difficult to be controlled. And he was a bit of trouble to his elder sisters. But Mother had found a way. Whenever she chanted the name of Shiva, and poured some water. Shiva, Shiva. He used to be just like a charmed snake. Just forgot everything. He was so much devotion was there in these people, in the name of God. So this, let us say, Vishwambar, he started his studies very bright. He started Sanskrit learning, and Navadvip that time was the capital of learning, seat of learning in eastern part of India. One was in Kashmir, that was a seat of learning. Another was Navadvip. People from all over India used to come to learn there the Sanskrit, especially the Nyaya, the logic they have developed, Navya Nyaya. They have developed a new type of logic from traditional logic, and they were the masters staying there, very learned town at the time. So he was also introduced into the learning of Nyaya and the philosophy and Sanskrit philosophy, Vedanta, literature, all. And he was so brilliant that he mastered all these things. And after that, he started his own school, small school called Dole, in which he was the professor in charge. He was barely 16 or 17 years of age at that time. And he started his school of his own. So brilliant he was. He had a friend named Raghunath. Raghunath was also another brilliant scholar, slightly over age. He was elder to him in age, but they belonged to the same teacher called Vasudeva Sarvabhauma. And Vasudeva Sarvabhauma was a scholar and Pandit at the time. This Raghunath was so scholar that he wrote a commentary on book on logic. And it was supposed to be very masterpiece. Didhiti was the name of the book. And he was very proud of that writing, and he said it should be the very foremost book in the subject of logic or Nyaya. He was very ambitious. So one day these two friends were going in the boat, Gauranga and Raghunath, on the Ganga. Then this Gauranga was also writing something. And Raghunath said, I heard that you were writing, can you read that to me, what you are writing? So he also, then Gauranga started reading from what he was writing on logic. And it was very nice, of course, he was such a great scholar. When Raghunath heard this, he started crying. Gauranga said, is there something wrong in my writing? Why are you crying, reading my writing? Then Raghunath didn't hide his feelings. He said, you see, Gauranga, I have written a book, Didhiti, with the ambition that it will be the foremost in the subject of Nyaya. But after hearing what you have written, no one is going to read my book. Your writing excels my writing in every way. So he was so saddened. Competition came. Gauranga said, what is there to cry in this? Does this writing makes you sad? Here it is. He took the book and threw it in the Ganga. I don't want my thing to sadden anyone. Let your Didhiti be common. Nobody in the world doesn't know what Gauranga has written now. Didhiti is still there. This type of sacrifice of their great achievements is so common in great persons. And Gauranga is considered as incarnation of God. They come and they show to us how much a person can sacrifice for others. How much the things of the world which is thought to be so great achievement of writing a book, great achievement of getting a job, great achievement of creating something, it is nothing compared to the whole life, the eternal life. The life achievement in this world, any achievement is very insignificant. and it can be sacrificed. I remember the incident of Swami Vijnananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. He was also a bright student, and during that time, he got admitted into engineering in Pune. From Bengal, he came to Pune to study engineering. So he was very brilliant student, coming in the top list of the academic performance of his friends. One of the students was sad, and Vijnananda ji asked, Hariprasad asked him, "Why are you sad?" He said, "You see, I am a poor person, and I can study only on a stipend, scholarship that I get. And the scholarship can be got if I become first or second. But I don't see any chance. You are so brilliant, you will become first or second, and I will not get the stipend." Vijnananda says, "Is that so? Don't worry, I'll find a way out for you." What he did? He had nothing written so that he can throw or burn. What he did? He didn't sit in the exam that year, so that his friend gets that position and gets the stipend and completes his engineering degree. He just lost 1 year for the sake of one of his classmates. This sacrifice in our life we think so great. For these great persons, they can just do anything to serve others, to make others happy. This is the one sign. Very wonderful story of Gauranga with this. They can just sacrifice this. Now he was devoted, the whole family was devoted to God. And there were many persons who used to recite the name of Krishna. There were Vaishnavas, followers of Vishnu in Navadvip at that time. But that love for God was not manifested in people. How to love God was not shown. Sri Ramakrishna, when people used to come, he said, "Get up and dance in the name of God." And people, educated people, they feel shy to dance. He said, "Lajja, Ghrina, Bhoy, Teen Thakte Na." If we have three things, you cannot reach God. If you have shyness, if you have hatred, and you have fear. So give this shyness and come up and sing in the name of God. Dance in the name of God. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who actually started this dancing and singing, public singing of the name of God. And still it continues. Hari Nam, Kirtan, Hari Sabha, all over India. Singing here also in Toronto also we have Ashtaprahar Hari Nam, like for 2 days continuous from till morning to a third day morning. 8 quarters of the day they say. So like that. In India there are places where this name, repeating the name of God continues through years, day and night. The name, God's name is being repeated for 30 years non-stop, day and night. God's name is very powerful, purifying agent for spiritual aspirants. Now, this Gauranga, so successful in his academic career, but a deep love for God in his heart, he takes to a pilgrimage. He was a very successful teacher. He takes to a pilgrimage. What happened before that? His father died when he was young. After that he got married. He had gone to East Bengal to preach the logic and to the debate, and nobody could stand in front of him. Some scholars from other districts came, he could just defeat. That time was the thing that debates used to be there. Whose point is clear? People from other places came to have the debate that logic is right or other philosophy is right. So they have to give the points, and Gauranga was very bright and nobody could stand in front of him. He could defeat anyone. He went to East Bengal. That time he heard that his wife, he had married wife Lakshmi. He came back, he heard that his wife died by a snake bite. Then later on Gauranga married second time Vishnu Priya, second wife. Now after the death of father, he went to Gaya. Gaya is a place of pilgrimage where Hindus generally go to give offering to the departed soul as their mark of respect. Sri Ramakrishna's father had also gone to Gaya, and there he had a vision that I am being born. Lord Vishnu says there is a Vishnu temple having the feet of Vishnu, as we have feet of Holy Mother's photograph of the feet of Holy Mother there. They have their temple where on the stone there is a very, now it's become very hazy, the feet's mark. There's a mark of the feet of a human mark, but we believe that it is the mark of Vishnu's feet. Vishnu Pada Padma Mandiram, it's called. The temple of the feet of Vishnu, lotus feet of Vishnu, it's called. So there they offer, Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, all-pervading Lord. To it, some prayers are offered, food are offered, and it is supposed that whatever is offered to Vishnu will go to our forefathers who are departed. So they offer, and the final gift, by that all bondage of the departed soul to this world, if there is any attachment to this world, to relatives, anything, it is believed by that prayer to that temple in Gaya, all that bond will be shivered and it will be freed. That is the concept. He went there, seeing the Vishnu temple, he was overwhelmed. Love for Vishnu in the form of Krishna was coming up to him. So he was saying Krishna, Ha Krishna, Hari Bol, like that thing he was saying. He was dancing, he was crying, he was laughing, he was rolling on the ground. That time he saw one sannyasi coming. Ishvara Puri was sannyasi's name. He caught hold of sannyasi and he said, you are my guru, you have to give me a mantra of Krishna. I want to take the mantra, formal initiation in the name of God. And Ishvara Puri was kind and compassionate and he initiated. After that, love for Krishna welled in his heart, which was dormant, not so much expressed. Now it was uncontrollable. He goes back to Navadvip. There he says, name of Krishna is the thing, the love for God is the thing which will take you across this samsara, across this misery, across this ignorance. Just take the name of Lord. Love Him with all thy heart. Sing His glories. Dance in His name. That was the teaching of Rama. At 23, he had gone to Puri, came back. For 1 year he organized all these kirtans. It was not much there common, that kirtan. People are alerted. Orthodox Pandits said, no, this is not the way God should be worshipped. God has to be worshipped in temple with flowers. What is this worship? He was undaunted. The complaints went to the Qazi, the governor of, that time governor of Navadvip. Then he said, I will take a procession saying the name of Kirtan to Qazi. So there were, all villagers came, Harinam was sung, and procession taking the name of God went to Qazi. Qazi found something very divine coming out of that. He said, yes, it is allowed. So Qazi also didn't object to that. In front of the sincere and pure work, if it is unselfish, it is in the name of God, no power can stop that. Swami Vivekananda says, purity, patience and perseverance. If these three are there in you, no power below the sun can ever stop you getting success in your achievement. And above all, love. Purity, patience, perseverance and love. If that is there, one is going to succeed in his achievement, in his endeavor. Swami Vivekananda says. Here is the example. Goes to a Nawab who professed different religion, who had no interest in the name of Krishna. He was a Muslim by religion, and he accepted, yes, okay, he couldn't stop it. Then he used to cry, Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, my Father, where art thou? I cannot live without thee. Thou art my sole refuge, my solace. Thou art my real Father, friend, mother, relative and Guru. Reveal thy form to me always. That's how when the passion for God gets just welling up from the heart, that intense desire to meet Him and be one with that Lord comes with that. This is called yearning, which Sri Ramakrishna always said, if you have yearning, you have seen the dawn. Now sun will come. There is no much time left for sun to come. God will reveal. Just you need to have this yearning to have the vision of God. Sri Ramakrishna himself had that yearning. When he said to Mother, Mother, if you don't see me, I don't feel like living anything. He used to rub his mouth on the ground. Mother, please reveal to me. I want to see you. Blood used to come out. The face used to be bruised. And people said, he said, Mother, Mother. He said, oh, he's crying for the mother who didn't come out of food. One day his passion to see God was so intense. He said, no, I won't live if you don't reveal to me. I will cut my neck, chop off my head, and holds on the sword. Sword falls from the hand. He falls on the ground and he sees the light of bliss coming and engulfing. After yearning, the sunrise is not far away. Gauranga also had the same feeling for Sri Krishna. It is said in the devotional scriptures written about Gauranga, that Gauranga is not other than Sri Krishna himself. And in Sri Krishna's life, as was being read, the love of Sri Krishna and Radha, Sri Krishna saw Radha's love for him, intense love, purest love, which cannot be compared with any other love. That Radha had that love for Krishna. Her thought was Krishna, her work was Krishna, her dream was Krishna. There was nothing other than Krishna for Radha. And Sri Krishna saw this intense love of Radha for him. Then he was also amazed and wanted to taste the bliss of this love. Love is very joyful. We know that from if we have pure love for, the purest love, mother's love for the child, without any desire to have any gain. Just love goes. Why do you love? There is no answer, why do I love? I don't know. We don't love. If there is love, real love, there is no answer, why do you love? There is no answer, why. There is no reason for love. Draupadi and all 5 Pandavas were going into this hiding thing, and Yudhishthira was very devoted to God. Draupadi said, why are you devoted to God? Always you praise God. God is giving us nothing than all these sufferings. What He has done for us. What God gives you, that you love Him so much. Yudhishthira said, Draupadi, I don't know why I love God, but I love God. You see the Himalayas in front? So beautiful. I love them. But what do they give to me? Do I love them because they give me? In love, there is something giving and taking. Love is love. Pure bond of unity, a feeling of oneness. Is something in the heart which has no reason. There is nothing that you give and take. Nothing, just love. That was Radha's love for Krishna. It's the love of the soul for the Supreme Soul. Love for something that is united has become somehow separated. It wants to go and meet there. That is our love for God. That was the love of Radha for Krishna. And Krishna saw that intense love in Radha and wanted to enjoy that love. Krishna, God Himself, was desirous to enjoy the love of Radha. If I could have that joy of that love, loving someone like this, and to taste that love of Radha for God, for Krishna, Krishna takes birth at Gauranga. Whom does He love? Krishna Himself. Whom He love? Who is Krishna? Krishna is God. He is our soul. Love of the soul from the Supreme Soul. Just to make the distinction, Supreme Soul and Soul, that both are one. So that He had come. That much always He was yearning to have the vision of Krishna and Krishna Himself. Then, there one person came in the life of Gauranga. He was also very devoted to Krishna. At the age of 12, he had given up his home and was roaming. His name was Nityananda. Gauranga saw him and understood that he is also a real devotee of Krishna. He said, "Come, you are my friend." Nitai was the elder to Gauranga and took him to mother and said, "Mother, he is your elder brother. He is your eldest son, whom you lost and who became mendicant. He treat this Nitai as your son." Nitai was also very devoted. Now, this Nitai and Gauranga started these kirtans in the streets of Navadvip. And they will say the name of Krishna, Hari Bol, like that. The strength, real strength is Hari Bol. Sri Ramakrishna explains in the Gospel. What is the meaning of Hari Bol? He says, Hari is the ball is the strength. What is our strength? God alone is our strength. If you rely in God for anything, you will be protected, you can stand. God alone is the strength. That is meant by Hari Bol, he said that. So, then Nitai becomes his fast friend and companion in spreading the message of the love of God alone as the spiritual practice. Spiritualizing the whole community is the mission of incarnation of God. Always, in any form, they come to show men and women the way how to reach God. And incarnations come with some particular thing. Here, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show us the path of bhakti, path of love of God. Chant in the simplest way. Just chant the name of God. Say Krishna, 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 you will get Krishna. And your all ambitions will be satisfied. That was the thing that Sri Krishna Chaitanya wanted to preach to the people more than through teaching, by his own example, precept. More than the precept, by his own example, how to love God. In Navadvip, Navadvip, there was two ruffians were there. They were Shakti worshippers, but in the name of Shakti worshipping, they used to drink the thing, life was not good, they used to plunder the rich, outrage the modesty of women, their life was not good. But they projected themselves as worshippers of Kali. And they didn't like the name of Vishnu. Kali and Vishnu, two types of goddess. One is Shakti worship, one is the Vaishnavas, Shakta and Vaishnavas. And these two were like the kotwals, like the police officers of the city. So one day, this Gauranga and Nityananda thought these two are just leading a life, very unholy life. Their life has to be changed. All challenges. Sri Ramakrishna takes the challenge of Girish Ghosh. Undergoes a lot of trouble for that. Has to hear a lot of abuses from Girish Ghosh himself, and many must be from other people we don't know. Giving shelter to a drunkard whose life is very impure, coming to Sri Ramakrishna, neither morning nor evening, any time he can come. 12 midnight he comes. Where are you? Thakur, where are you? Comes drunk. Sri Ramakrishna gets away. Come, Girish, and holds his hand. Girish is drunk with wine. Sri Ramakrishna is drunk with mother's love. He starts dancing, holding his hand. What other people will say? What is this saying? The people must have said it's not recorded. So they can take all these challenges to change, to transform the human beings. What only Girish, he has to change one Girish, he has to change so many Girishes in the future, in our times. And Sri Ramakrishna still changes Girish. Girish, Vinodini, all these people. His love, his purity makes any impure pure. Like Ganga. Somebody said, purity of Ganga. He said, Sri Ramakrishna said, can Ganga be ever impure? It is the water, the Ganga is the very thing that makes any impurity pure. And there was something floating, some dead body of some animal or something floating on the river. He said, do you think that floating cat gas can make Ganga impure? What can make the purity itself impure? That type of power these great incarnations of God have. Now, take the challenge to transform Jagai and Madhai, these kotwals, these police officers, into a devotee of God. They hate this Gauranga and his kirtan. And again, he takes a procession, Nitai in front, Gauranga in the back, saying the name of Krishna, Hari Bol, Krishna, Krishna, and goes to their very house. They were drunk, powerful, youthful, and he says, Nityananda in front, he had some earthen jar, he picks up the head of it and throws on Nityananda. The jar breaks and Nityananda's head gets deep wound. Blood gushes out, he hears the name and goes near him. It was Madhai who did. And says, Madhai, take the name of God. He says, what? Take the name of Krishna. Hari Bol, take the name of Hari. What? He was picking up another thing. Jagai said, why do you want to kill this sannyasi? He is a very pure person. Please, relieve from that. Then, when our Gauranga was in the back, he heard that his very devoted friend, fast friend had been injured. He comes in front and was very raised. He became angry. Whenever the devotees suffer, God becomes angry. He was going to do something to Jagai, Madhai. Then Nityananda says, Lord, please forgive him. Do you know the story in Mahabharata? Bhishma and Sri Krishna both had promised. Bhishma said, I will make you lift a weapon. Krishna said, I will not lift a weapon in the war. So that was going on. Now Krishna, finally when time came, when Krishna didn't lift any weapon traditional, but he lifted the wheel of the chariot to throw on someone. So Bhishma said, Lord, I have promised that you will lift a weapon. It was not traditional, but it was a weapon in your hand. You want to throw on someone. That they say, Krishna deliberately did it to keep the promise of his devotee. God will go to any length to protect the devotee. So Gauranga was very angry. Then Nityananda said, Lord, don't be angry. If he has beaten me, if he has wounded me, should I not say him the name of God? So he went further. Then Jagai, he embraced Jagai. He says, Hari, say the name of Hari. So Jagai says, Hari Bol, and transformation came. He embraced Jagai. Then Madhai was there, he was repentant. Then just he said, tell the name of Hari once. He said, Hari, he said somehow. That's so powerful, the name of God, the environment was so charchal. God himself, as Sri Krishna Chaitanya was there, Nityananda was there, devotees were there, and they were transformed that very moment. Shankaracharya said in Viveka Chudamani, when there is a real teacher and student, here they were not willing student, but if there is a willing student and real teacher can transform a student instantly. Sadhya, this case happened. And they were transformed and became the devotee of Gauranga. And then they started taking the name of God. They led a very impure life. They had the penance for that, but never left that. So that is the apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabha. Sri Krishna says in the Gita, if even a sudurachara, even a very cruel person, very impure person takes the name of God and thinks me as the ananyabha without, he completely surrenders to me with one pointed devotion, know him to be a very good person. Sadhureva samantabhya, just like a sadhu, just like a very holy person, treat him that, because he has given up his evil days. Goodness is inherent in every human being. However cruel he may seem or she may seem, there is always goodness at the core of his nature. Only the cruelty covering has to be removed, the goodness, the inherent nature then comes forth. That's what they do. That's what the Buddha does for Angulimal, that's what Sri Ramakrishna does for Girish Ghosh, that's what Sri Krishna Chaitanya did for Jagai and Madhai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that to preach the name of God as a householder is difficult. I have to take sannyas. So he wanted to renounce everything. His wife, his mother. So first he wanted to go and explain, Mother, I want to renounce. I am caught up with the fire of love for God. I cannot live a householder's life of duties. I'm a teacher, nothing that. Mother said, where will I go? So he explained to his mother day after day and finally got permission. Yes, you can do it. They say without mother's blessing, if one takes sannyasa, that sannyasa is not fruitful. So no one should hurt. Abhayam sarva bhutebhya. May all be fearless. That is the path of a sannyasi. Mother agreed. Then he goes to another town in West Bengal called Katwa, and there was a saint sannyasi living. He said, his name was Keshav Bharati. He said, please ordain me into the order of sannyasa. Keshav Bharati saw this young man looking like a molten gold, so beautiful, so handsome. And he said, so beautiful his hair, his every organ was so handsome he was, like the God coming to the earth. He said, you are so beautiful, so handsome, you are so young, and the vows of sannyasa are very hard. Can you control yourself? It's very difficult. How will you control a passion? So Gauranga said, you can test me. Then he said, have you control over your senses? Test me. He said, then asked for a powdered sugar and asked Gauranga to stick out his tongue. Gauranga stuck out his tongue, put the sugar on the tongue, and then blew that off, the sugar powder. And all the sugar was completely blown off from the tongue. There was no saliva secretion. Full control over palate. Even the food, even the sugar could not induce involuntary secretion of saliva. There was not only voluntary control of the senses, even involuntary control of the senses had been gained by this Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Then there are many stories in Bengal, there are theatres, dramas, where they say how this most handsome person is getting into sannyasa, how the barber is cutting his hair. To take sannyasa one has to remove hair, seven-headed, looking different. How the barber would be doing that, all these beautiful stories they sing. So he took finally sannyasa, and mother said, you don't need to go to Vrindavan, go to Puri, it's near there. Gauranga said, I will come, mother, to see you. You are my mother. The relation between mother and her child is not cut off by being a sannyasi. He may be a dead person or very outside the world, but for mother, child is always child. Shankaracharya said the same thing. Mother, I will be there at the last when you have to give up your body. He came. Sri Ramakrishna said, he took sannyasa. He said, don't give me ochre clothes. My mother will be very hurt seeing me sannyasi. He brought his mother near Dakshineswar and put her, and daily used to visit him and ask about her welfare. Visit her and ask about her welfare. That is how the love for mother, these all great incarnations and great sannyasis, always have shown. Then Mahaprabhu goes to Puri. Seeing the Puri temple from far away, it is called Darshani, one place where you can see the top of the temple, big temple. Like you have, we have here Swami temple. That Puri temple is still bigger than that. So when Gauranga saw the temple of Jagannath, he started running away. They were coming walking for many days, many weeks from Bengal, from Calcutta to, from Navadvip to Puri. When he saw where that train came, he ran and went into Puri temple. Saw that Jagannath images. There are the three images that we often have during Rath Yatra also. Not very beautiful. The round eyes in the wooden frame, not like human figure. But lovers of God see something there, so exquisitely beautiful, so loving, that they are just charmed in that figure of Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra. Gauranga also saw that. He couldn't control himself. He went inside near the Sanctum Sanctorum and went to the altar and was going to embrace that image of Jagannath. People don't know him. Who is this sannyasi coming here? And they started coming in the altar. We don't allow people to come to the altar like that. And coming to embrace the idol. For them it was idol. For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu it was Sri Krishna standing there. Then the Pandals were very angry. They started beating him literally. He fainted. They would have perhaps killed. Then at that time, by God's will, came one very respected scholar and he saw somebody there. Oh, perhaps I know this person. Then he recognized he to be the teacher of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. Later on he had shifted to Puri and he had become a court pandit of the king of Puri. Then he saw, don't beat him. He asked his students to he was already fainted, take his body to his house. He took care and ultimately he gained consciousness. They had discussions. He taught him to be a student. Now he had developed the love of God. Now he had transformed his life from a devotee, from a scholar to a devotee. And all the manifestation of godly qualities were there. There were discussions between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma on some topic. Advaita is greater or Bhakti is greater. So he established that Bhakti is greater than even the philosophy of Advaita. Sarvabhauma surrendered himself and became his disciple. Who was his teacher of a young Gauranga in Navadvip. He became disciple of this Sri Krishna Chaitanya in Puri. The power manifests when you grow spiritual. Then he toured India in the south and finally he went to Vrindavan. He found out through his visions that in the Vrindavan